After a lifetime of traveling and nearly 40 years of teaching a world language, Crescent High School's Mrs. McDowell says there's no place she'd rather be than with her students.
News 8's Kristen Elisario brings us this month's top-notch teacher.
Hola, yo soy señorita McDowell. Soy profesora de español.
Mrs. McDowell's interest in other cultures began at a young age.
I had a teacher who also knew French, and she taught us some French expressions, and I think the seed was planted in first grade.
She started learning Spanish in 7th grade.
Found it really thrilling that I could speak a language and my mom and dad couldn't understand what I was saying. ¿Quién sabe cuál es la terminación? Las dos chicas inteligentes.
After learning the language, she set off on adventures of her own, traveling to Mexico, Costa Rica, and Puerto Rico.
I love to travel, and I hope I can instill that in my students, that it's a big world out there, and I want them to see the whole world.
We talk about culture a lot, and it just makes you appreciate that it's so nice that there's teachers willing out there to teach you.
In addition to learning the language and being able to create within the language, I hope I instill in them maybe another lens with which to see the world.
Her enthusiasm about world cultures have inspired her students with stories similar to her own.
Mom has no idea what we're saying when we'll start talking Spanish and she'll have no idea. She'll be like, "What are you guys saying?" We're like, "Oh, nothing, Mom."
Hay otras palabras, Graciela? To see them come into the class knowing zero, and then at the end of 3 years to see them going on to Spanish 4, being able to communicate in the language, knowing different tenses, knowing about the culture, it's very rewarding.
And to every one of her students who she says has taught her something, she says this.
I hope they all realize that no matter how proficient or how easy Spanish comes to them, I want them to know I care about them as a human being, and I want them to follow their dreams, and I would like to encourage them in all areas of life and not just Spanish. Exacto.
In La Crescent, Kristen Elisario, News 8.
In 2012, Mrs. McDowell will have spent 40 years in the classroom.
Wow, and she continues to enjoy teaching Spanish and plans to do so for at least a few more years, saying it's her students who keep her young.
Lucky kids. Now, along with being the March top-notch teacher, Señorita McDowell also gets a new set of wheels to drive this month.
Good accent there. She's driving a Honda Hybrid courtesy of Honda Motorworks in La Crosse. Remember, if you would like to nominate a top-notch teacher, just log on to our website, wkbt.com.